We do a family teaching from the new City Catechism. It's a question and answer for each week of the year. So there's 52 questions. That's pretty simple. And it just overviews the Christian faith, something we confess together. There are two versions of the answers. There's an adult version and a kid version. The kid version uses the same words from the adult version, just less of them. So we're all memorizing the same thing, and if you're older, you just memorize more. And so every week we read them together just as a reminder. And then I encourage you to make that something you look further into during the week, and we've got resources on our website. So I'm going to read the question, and I'd like you to read the answer with me. How and why did God create us? Read with me. God created us, male and female, in His own image, to know Him, love Him, live with Him, and glorify Him. And it is right that we who were created by God should live to His glory. I was talking to a friend this week, and we were talking about catechisms, and did you grow up with them? And he said, he did. And I said, well, I didn't, but I sort of did. For some reason, I don't remember our family ever going over the entirety of the Westminster Catechism, but we all knew that the first question was, what is the chief end of man? To worship and glorify God forever. We use it as a weird family joke. If ever my parents forgot what they were doing, Mom comes walking in the room and she goes, now why am I here? She knew that one of us kids was going to immediately be like, to worship and glorify God forever. That was the one we knew. There is value in having some of these things, even, because here's the thing. So I had that memorized before I cared about it. But it was a good answer. And as I got older and began to explore my faith, to come back and say, wait a minute. So I'm saying my purpose is to worship and enjoy God. And I get into reading guys like John Piper and others who said, and maybe you worship God by enjoying Him. And you chew on some of these thoughts. Because these little anchor stones had been dropped, and because they were good ones, they allowed me to explore my faith as I grew up. As I was ready, as God's Holy Spirit challenged me, as various interactions with the church and the Word preached, stoked that fire, there were these things that kind of loaded the questions. And so that's my hope for these. There's a lot of pieces in this answer. It comes from that same place as the Westminster first question in saying our purpose is to glorify God. And we flesh it out in ours by saying to know Him, to love Him, to live with Him, and to glorify Him. I'd encourage you this week to go and look and just pick one of those lines and read up on it. There's some scriptures, prayers, devotionals on our website or on the New City app, but we've taken everything from New City and Gospel Coalition and thrown it on our website. Now, I want us to do the kid version together, and it won't automatically play, so you can bring up the slide. The kid version has a song, and we always play it and learn gestures. This week, questions 4 and 5 are one song, so we got to teach you gestures for 2 of them, and that's a lot, but don't worry, we'll do it again next week. And then the other thing I want to say is I started a Marco Polo group where we do videos of all the gestures, and I'm sending them ahead to the kids so they get a lead on the adults. And so if any of you want that, just let me know and I can add you to the group. And for the kids, if at any point we're doing one of these and you know the gestures, you are always welcome to jump up here and help lead it when the song's playing. You don't need permission. If you know the gestures or you think you do, jump up here and go for it. So, how and why did God create us? We're going to make this super simple. Here's the gestures. We're just going to go, how and why? And then you've learned this God gesture. We're going to keep using it. Did God, that's sign language, and then create us. We're going to do make. We are going to overuse this gesture a ton today, all right? So just get happy with this one. Because it says, then, the answer, God created us. And we're just going to go male and female. And then it says, in His own image, we're going to go like this, kind of the likeness of Him, image bearers. And it repeats it twice, so you go in His own image, in His own image. And for glorify Him, I'm going to do this. Now, if you're a sign language person, like, this is glorify. I know. But we glorify Him by revealing Him. And so that's what we're doing. All right? So there's some thought here. So, in His own image, to glorify Him. Second question just says, what for else, and again, I'm just falling back on sign language this week because I'm sleep deprived with a newborn, else. So what else did God create? So you knew half these signs already. Now here's where it gets really bad, and I should probably fix this next year. God created all things, and all his creation was very good. So you just did like this and this like 5 times. It went in doubt. God created all things, and all his creation was very good. And we'll do that twice. All right, you'll get the hang of it. I'll let you start the music, and let's see if we can do this together. Christy and I were chatting this week how by doing these songs, we're going to have the kid version so memorized all week this last week, guys. Every time we're like driving, I look at Christy, I go, do you know what's going on in my head? And she's like, how many persons are there in God? There are 3 persons. All week. That's all I've been doing is Trinity. So glad for a new song.